Right, welcome guys. So according to the showrunner of The Acolyte, Yoda is just a liar. Yep. So just the end of the series, The Acolyte, Venestra Rowe, played coincidentally by Leslye Headland's wife, walks into a room. It's like, I need to talk to you, Master. Or I need to tell you something, Master. Or something along those lines. And it's Yoda. Now the implication is that Yoda knows about the Sith. And he lies to everyone. In The Phantom Menace, he lies to everyone about the Sith. Right? It's either that he's incompetent and a moron and doesn't know anything that's going on, can't sense anything, or he's a liar. Well, the showrunner's told us she actually thinks he would lie. Deception. Isn't that a path to the dark side? Hate these people. I'm not even like a Star Wars fan, but even I know that there are some basic things that you just don't do. Dumb. So we're going to take a look at this. It's quite a long interview with Inverse. We'll look at predominantly the Yoda stuff first, and then I'll look at some other bits that might catch your attention, some interesting bits about Plagueis and stuff. But yeah, hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. We'll dive right into it. So here, again, this is an article over on Inverse. This is the same place that did that. Leslye Headland's just getting started. God, I hope so. Please do another season so I can buy a classic car. Alright? Please. A TA23 Toyota Celica. That would be great. Please do it. Anyway. So we scroll down. Starts talking about this, the Renew the Acolyte. So, because she's asked about it, basically. She goes, I'm not online, so my wife told me about it. Headland tells Inverse, the Renew the Acolyte movement. It made me feel like people are invested and love the show, which is great because I'm invested and I love the show. Please renew it. I can't wait. Anyway. Starting from the very end of the episode and working our way back. I hear you had to fight hard to get Yoda in the stinger. Yes, I mean, I wouldn't say fight hard in a totally super adversary way. It's more like, that's a big character. So, it was not fighting in an aggressive way, but definitely spirited conversation. Was it just about the integrity of the brand? Sorry, you think Lucasfilm and Star Wars are like, they're concerned about brand integrity? Are you fucking insane? Yeah, there was the logistics of it all, sure. But then there were some, I'd say, almost spiritual conversations about using such an iconic character. I felt strongly about it because I felt that, to me, Venestra was in a situation that was so heightened and really needed to be taken care of internally. Here we go. Here we go to the canon breaking stuff. The law breaking. She was already feeling this pressure of, if you don't have a suspect, then we have a real problem. Oh. Rey and Court suggest the internal review of the Jedi, obviously at the small council, but Chancellor Drellick doesn't confirm or deny that request. It felt like she had to report to her superior and let him know what's up, and probably tell him about what happened between her and her Padawan. So again, do you not think that Yoda would have sensed all of this? Because he should have. But no, there's more. That was a fun bit of foreshadowing for me, knowing what we know about Yoda and about Dooku. It's so funny that Venestra could be going to him for advice, and he's like, never experienced this, have I? But you will. I was also just interested in Phantom Menace when he immediately is like, there's always a master and apprentice. It's not like he was alive during the new Sith Wars, so I guess there's a chance that it was a piece of information that was passed down through the generations. But because I had the opportunity to work in Star Wars, I just think a more interesting version of this is that he has some sort of understanding of what's going on. And it's not like it's the first time Yoda has hidden something from the Senate and the Republic, so he's just a liar. In the Clone Wars Season 6, it's revealed that he covered up the creation of the clone army and asked everybody to not say who was behind it. So you've got great. So it just felt to me that there was something fun to explore there. If we were allowed to talk about and to do more seasons, there was a large conversation about including him But I just thought, I mean, it's my show, so he's just a liar. Yoda's just a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Let's get to a Yoda impression. Liar I am. Anyway, no Sith I do. Now that all the episodes... I've never even tried to do that before. Anyway, alright, now that all the episodes are out there, I feel like we can talk about the things that were in Legends that you wanted to bring in, but maybe couldn't. Do you have any other ideas that you wanted to include in the season, but they just didn't fit? One thing that I did want to explore, but it was a bit too much of a deep hole, was the time period between... when Venestra became a way seeker. I just thought it was an interesting piece of information to bridge where she was and where she is now, so to give her wife more of a part. Twat. I was hoping to get a little bit more backstory for her, for your wife, but there were who's a shit actor and only got the role through nepotism. But there were already so many characters that I wanted to dive into, and those first 4 episodes are very much about establishing the era. Plagueis was always in the show, though. Plagueis was the plan in terms of revealing him and establishing him in live action. My dream was always to introduce him with his hands first, because Muns, their forefingers and their middle finger are longer than the rest of their fingers, so always my dream was to show that first and sort of give a little bump for those that know. You literally had him being a weird, creepy perv, but alright. You've spoken about balancing Plagueis' cameo with that moment of Osha's triumph in the end. Could you tease how he could fit into the story when it continues? When? When? He's definitely a signifier of things to come, if we end up moving forward. Osha and the Stranger are aligned. Literally, the last shot of the show is the two of them holding the same lightsaber. It's the last shot out of Fight Club. These are two people that are looking out under the horizon and believing that their power is intense and strong and shared and passionate. The Sith line is, peace is a lie, there is only passion. And the last line is, the Force will set me free. Set me free! Which is why the Stranger says what he says in episode 6. So they've really sort of come together and they click in this beautiful way, and in this way that I would love to keep going with them. Perfect. How will they survive the structure of how the Sith work? But the tease is, because there's Plagueis, and because we know that Palpatine is eventually Plagueis' apprentice, we know that these two people are not going to fall into that set lineage. This is a triumph for Osha, it's a triumph for both of them, but the added it's a triumph for some evil... oh, whatever. But the added complication that Master and Apprentice, or in this case Apprentice and Acolyte, there's always an imbalance, one to hold the power, one to crave it, and seeing these two characters completely aligned with each other in this hugely satisfying way, the tease is, how will they survive the structure of how the Sith work? The Knights of Ren, maybe, because you kept using Kylo Ren's theme tune. Maybe. Is there a chance that they could decide not to be Sith? I mean, that's probably a spoiler, but yeah, I can't talk to you about that. Jesus. Oh, look, they even toyed with going in for a kiss, look. When I spoke to Hanel, the director of the finale, she said you toyed with the idea of potentially going for a kiss. We did. We definitely toyed with it. There was a long conversation about it actually on set, and there was a lot of pros and cons, but ultimately it was the actors that came up with the option of holding the lightsaber together. They kind of organically came up with it together because we ultimately didn't land on a kiss, so the question was, what's a kiss but not a kiss? And I think them being tied together by this lightsaber that has honestly followed Osha all the way through her life. She holds it as a child when Sol hands it to her. It's the lightsaber that killed her mother, and now that it's bled, it's the representation of her ascension into dark-sidedness. This is so fucking lame. The second they did it, I was like, this is right. This is absolutely right. I bet it was. This woman absolutely jerking her Jimmy to her greatest art she's ever made. Do you know for sure if Season 2 is happening just yet? I do not. Is there anything that you're dying to explore if you do get a Season 2? I'm really excited about the prospect of the May-Venestra relationship. Oh, more roles for your shit wife actor. I really love the idea that Venestra now has on her hands a Force-sensitive, powerful woman that is, at this point, docile enough that Venestra would be able to educate and form an allegiance with. So that was very exciting for me to set up. So that you're gonna train someone even older now. I didn't think they were supposed to train old people. What the fuck are you doing? Obviously, Osha and the Stranger is probably the juiciest relationship that I'd love to dive into. There's so much about them that I would love to explore more. It's not just the hand-holding, but the power dynamic between the two. Super lame. Super lame. Hate all of this. Already talked about Plagueis. There's a bunch of High Republic Legend stuff. Loads of cameos. Blah, blah, blah. Still working it out. Blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about Renew the Acolyte? Oh, I don't care. Anyway, there you go. That's it. Yoda's just a liar. Alright? Yoda's a liar. Because Leslye Headland said so. What do you guys think? Love to hear your thoughts. Comical stuff. So leave your thoughts down below. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.